Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on our YouTube account and the Heroes of Asperia is concluded. The loot is here, so we did not get into the legends. So we're going back and forth right at the very end like we normally do. Within the last probably 5 minutes, you go up, you go down in a couple different formations. Unfortunately, we did not get to the point where we stayed in legends because we lost within the last couple seconds. Now, overall, we are getting a significant amount of these common scrolls. And if you got your loot out of here, do not pick. And I do not recommend the faction scrolls at all because, of course, with the common scrolls, you have the ability and the possibility to get those awakened heroes. With the faction scrolls, unfortunately, you cannot. We picked up 25 Stargazer scrolls, which is awesome. We've been getting a lot of those. We have 5 tier 4 stones, which again is very cool. And then, of course, the league points, got a couple more of those. So definitely some good loot out of here. Now, overall, when we're going through here, we're in 59-56, so I want to try to make a little bit more progression. We'll get, of course, our Twisted Realm rewards, as well as the team hunt has started. Now, also, Dolly's Corner is up. We know that Dolly's Corner has a sneak peek of what could possibly be a new Graveborn hero. We're hoping that it's going to be up in the patch notes tomorrow, but we're going to have to see exactly what does happen with that. And a lot of players were saying it looks like it is Cecilia from AFK Journey, which would be kind of crazy if they cross back over the other way, sitting on a throne, sitting in a chair, but we're going to have to see exactly what that looks like when it comes up. So in today's video, we're going to be trying to get through 59-56, get poised for that very last one. Now, I have been following GXS, which is right here, GXS. We have been following this, so I'm hoping that we can get through here, make a little bit of progression. Now, through all of this, we're on 59-56. We have been pushing this like crazy, trying to get to the point of being able to not only move into 60, but also farm diamonds. So it's been kind of an interesting build. And of course, Athos, Athos is, look at this, guys. Talk about a monster tank. Look at the ability to literally tank at a 400 level deficiency. It is insane when you see how strong this tank is. Now, I know we have some crowd control, but overall, when you think of everything that is building a tank, and I don't have the 9 of 9 furniture, I don't have the engraving for him all the way, but it is absolutely insane how well this tank is doing when it comes to that survivability. It's incredible. It is incredible to me. Now, this one, of course, when you think of the RNG factor that we see with a lot of different heroes, this is just like the Thorn Cheese. It is a really, really big RNG formation. A lot of players even say the RNG is much higher. And I know Javid always said this, that the formation here, the RNG on this formation is kind of 10x what we see with the Thorn Cheese, because it's incredibly difficult to get through here with this one just because of that RNG factor. Now, of course, Mahira has to keep up the crowd control. Now, we have a lot of collections. It changes who's going to die, when they're going to die, just based on how well you have these collections built. So there can be, again, a really big variance to where, and you can see literally Liberta is yo-yoing back and forth when it comes to the damage that he's taking in the formations. And of course, Khazard is just here for the extension for the duration of the crowd control. So again, we might not have the right artifacts on here or the right collections to really build this out, but I know we have a very strong one. And you can see the right there, 279 million that pops up right above Mahira at the very beginning. And it seems like, again, this is just going to be a lot of that possibility with crowd control to actually get this to work. Very similar, again, to that Thorn Cheese that we see. But overall, Lucilla, of course, is going to come up a couple different times. And then we have Liberta in the combination with Lucilla, which there she's up again, keeping all of them together. And of course, at this level deficiency, it is literally one hit. That is where we're at. I mean, we're talking 400 plus level deficiencies. And I want to see kind of what this looks like, what the collection looks like here. And again, kind of running all of the collections down there. We do have Mahira. Let me see how it builds out here because we copied this. So it is the same. So we do have some pretty strong collections in there. So again, this is just going to be the RNG factor of getting this to work. But you're talking 400 plus level deficiency, which again, is kind of crazy when you get to a certain point. It's incredibly difficult. And there we go. RNG working a little bit here. If we can get a couple more of Mahira, which Mahira went down right there. Once Mahira drops, once the crowd control drops, and honestly, just like we seen with Altheus in the last battle, once the crowd control drops, it's game over. That is really it at that point. If the crowd control drops, because we just get run over in these formations, and I'm wondering who else we have in here, because I'm sure Thorn Cheese is going to be in here. Now, this one, of course, very strong crowd control. And you'll also notice that Robin Hood is in here. Now, Demia is in here as well. Demia is going to keep people from dying. That is the big thing. That is why so many players do love Demia, exactly how she works. She will keep the heroes alive. We also do have the Shroom Spooter up there. So we have a lot of crowd control that is coming from the Shroom Spooter. And it is just a build, even with the Awakened version of Shamira. It is a really, really slow burn to all of these heroes going down. And we get through that 400 level deficiency relatively easy right there. And I'm wondering again, that's it, Thorn Cheese. When you start getting to the big retaliation in here and getting through these stages, Pippa teleports Thorin to the side. We got to get Thorin to get that cheese up. If we can get the cheese, because of the level deficiency, these heroes or these enemies are putting up such an insane amount of damage with the retaliation aspect. If the retaliation goes off, the damage that Thorin is throwing back at them is insane. It is kind of crazy, the damage that they're putting out, because usually, again, if we can get the double retaliation, it should be pretty easy to get. And then, of course, we're also running Leica in here with Zolrath. Now, if you're familiar with the Leica-Zolrath combination, those are two. And look at that. Thorin literally single-handedly, and I want to see that again, but single-handedly walked down, and I don't think it's going to show us. Just walked down, and I think we'll be able to catch it, but literally walked up and just swung once at Rowan and took Rowan out. Now, this one, of course, we have the Awakened version of Belinda with Alna, which means we're not going to be able to kill the Awakened version of Belinda because of the benefit that Alna has. Then, of course, we have the damage amplification in there with Leonardo's crowd control. But Scrag, ooh, Scrag's going to be tough, guys. Now, Scrag, you can't crowd control. That's the big thing to remember in this one, is we don't have that ability to crowd control Scrag, which means that Alna is going to have to hold out for a little bit till we can get some of these targets down. Because you'll see he's in the frame rate here, but he continues to move. Scrag, of course, very, very strong with Ironjaw. And I think it would be kind of crazy, and I was kind of thinking about this last night, is if by chance they did the Awakened version of Scrag. I was like, that would be interesting. That would be very unique if they went ahead and made Ironjaw into a big dinosaur and Scrag much bigger, an Awakened version of Scrag. I think it would be kind of crazy if they did that, again, in conjunction with that Awakened version of the heroes. But again, I'm still hoping for Nemitsu. Nemitsu is still the holdout that I have in there. Hopefully we can get that done. And I'm wondering also with the damage amplification here that Rain is actually putting in here. And again, just a little bit of that RNG factor. If we can keep them locked down, the Awakened version of Belinda just melts 1.53 trillion damage in there. We are looking at the trillion damage. Then, of course, the last one is going to be the RNG factor that we have here. So we got Thorn to work, which was very good. That was awesome to see that we got Thorn to work. And again, I feel like we can't have anyone die early here, especially with Rowan dropping out of here relatively early. Means we're not going to have access to the same potions that we have, being able to build them up much faster. And you'll see, literally, this potion, it goes pretty quick in there. But when Mahira dies, we're not going to be able to get this done. We have to keep Mahira up. Mahira has to chain the crowd control up into the point where Liberta can actually take them out. And of course, we have a really big build here on Liberta. Now, Lucilla comes up again. Boom. Crowd control, crowd control. Again, right there, it seemed like we were going to all one more time right there. But unfortunately, it did not happen. Now, again, remember also from the defensive side is they are running the plus 30 signature items on the enemies. We are also they're running the 9 of 9 furniture. So they've gotten to the point where the enemy is very highly built out. It's not just the basic ones where we have a +10 or a +20 signature item. It's actually at the point where they are built much higher than we normally see with these heroes. And of course, we have Salakai in here. So some relatively new heroes, which is cool to see. That Salakai is being run in here and a few other heroes. It works really well. And then, of course, crowd control with our Ninja Turtle. Boom. As soon as the Ninja Turtle gets that crowd control off, that is the instant killer within this formation. Actually takes them down relatively quick. And of course, again, having Salakai in there, we have Peggy with the guards that are also shielded in defense. You can see they come right from that back line fully shielded, which again, the enemy has to get through the shields to make this work. So it's really cool, but we should be able to get this done. Let me give it one more attempt and then I'll go ahead and auto run it, see if we can get this done. And I don't know exactly how long it's going to take, but the RNG factor in here will happen. It happens eventually. It always does happen every time. All right, guys, so we finally got through that second stage, completing the boss stage. So right here, it was all about Liberta doing that damage. But overall, we did get some very strong crowd control out of here from Mahira. Now, a lot of players were also questioning about building Mahira. Now, of course, when you look at campaign stages, when you look at a couple different game modes like the Hypo Tower, Mahira is 100% required because of this. Regardless of the enemy level, the stronger they get, the more crowd control you're throwing in there. You can see right here, we're literally just locking down the entire enemy team with the crowd control. That Mahira is bringing over and over and over. And the enemy team is actually killing themselves because of the mesmerize effect that she does have. So it works very well within this formation. Now, of course, guys, you can see the links right here. Liberta just being probably the strongest hero within AFK Arena. It does work incredibly well. Then we do have the Thorn Cheese that we ran right there. And then the final formation that we had. And I want to see it just one more time. I don't know if it has my formation in here because we were in the formation. Battle shall be lost. Yeah, that was weird. It kind of aired out. But looking at 1.31 trillion right here. And then, of course, 1.53 trillion. But we finally got that boss stage done, which means takes us to 59, 57. So just a couple more stages, and then we'll be into chapter 60, which is insane. We have been pushing this thing like crazy, but that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.